Hey guys, welcome to the show today. We're talking about working backwards and what does working backwards mean? It's starting with the end goal in mind and turning it into a reality. And this is hard for people to do. It's easy to talk about and hard to implement. And want to talk about some strategies that you guys can use to work backwards to achieve the goals that matter the most. And once you know what you want out of your body and your life, it's time to work backwards and find the path to get there. What's the actual roadmap that's going to take you from where you are to where you want to be? Listen up today for some strategies on how to work backwards in order to get from the spot you are now to where you want to be. And this can be applied to so many different areas of your life. This can be applied to business or work. This can be applied to fitness, financial, relational. There's a lot of things that this can be applied to. And that's why it's so valuable. And this is something that a lot of people get caught in the day to day. And there's two ways that I want to talk about here today that people tend to fall into, two categories, if you will. And one is people so caught in the day to day and just working, doing. If you feel like you're just caught up in the rat race and every day you're just trying to catch up to your to-do list, you're just trying to make it through the day, you're just you're stretched thin. That's not a good place to be, and not for a long time at least, because if you're failing to see the big picture, if you're failing to look at where do I want to go, am I actually working on the right things, am I intentionally moving the direction I want to, then you're just going to fall victim to other people's schedules. And I did a podcast on this called Seeing the Big Picture. I was at least one of them. There's probably some other ones I've done that highlight some of this. But if you're just working with your head down and not picking up to see, not taking a step back to see the big picture, you're going to get lost in the day to day, and you're not going to end up exactly where you want to be. You're going to be, more subject to wherever the schedule tends to take you. And that's not as proactive a place to be. Now, the other side of the scale are people, I talk to some people and they know what they want. They're big dreamers. This might be you, if you're like, I can picture this. I have this future. I'm doing this. My body's feeling like this. My work is this. I'm, fulfilled, but I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to get there. And that's the other side of the coin that people tend to be on is, okay, great. We have these big dreams, but how do we facilitate daily action, strategic daily action, day in, day out, week in and month out, to get to where I want to go? And that's where working backwards comes into play. Now, if you find yourself on either side of that, I know it can be challenging to be like, well, you don't know how much I have to get done or how little time I have to commit to this, or you don't know how hard it is in this industry or with my goals. And it's tough. It's tough to get out of the day to day with that. It's tough to get out of your head, but it's necessary to do if you want to achieve the big things that I know you guys are capable of doing. And I ran into this with business, was specifically a category that I've talked about a lot, where things like health and fitness have usually come a little easier to me than other things. But things like starting a business as a physical therapist out of grad school with zero business background, only having to work for a couple of years in a sort of different in the insurance model and a different side compared to the cash physical therapy model that we started our business in. I was lost, man. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck. And that can get you by for a little bit, but that is not a long-term sustainable strategy. It was once I got introduced to this style of goal setting course from a mentor of mine, and started to implement this, started to do some of the things that we're going to talk about here in a couple minutes. Implementing these things created some incredible change, and finally the results started coming. There was not only more results, which I think we can all say that we'd love a little more results in the areas that we want to, but clarity, peace of mind, less anxiety, less worry, less overwhelm. Those are some of the biggest things that I experienced, because it gave a strategic plan to what I need to be working on. So let's talk the X's and O's here. Let's talk the actual solution for how to go about this. And I want to take you guys through a simple process. At the end, I'll give you guys a more in-depth way. If you guys want to go through this in more in depth, I would highly encourage it. But the 5 steps I'm going to talk about are going to be the process to start to take yourself through this. So first off, you need to identify your someday goal. And this is your big picture goal. This is your think big, dream big. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit what your abilities are. Think about, what do I really want the most? And I recommend doing this as a full life picture. I wouldn't silo this one as much. You're welcome to, but I wouldn't make like a someday fitness goal, a someday work goal, a someday anything. Make it kind of make a vision, get a vision, get a picture in your mind of what that looks like, of what, think 10 years from now, what do you want your life to look like? And write this down, brain dump, write down as much as you can, and find out what's most important to you. Once you find out what's most important to you, step number 2 is to identify your why. You can have these big goals to do these, be living a certain lifestyle, to feel a certain way. But if you don't connect that to why that's so important, then you're going to get burned out when things get tough. When the next interruption comes, you're going to be victim to that. It's going to be hard to stay the course, really hard to stay the course if you don't connect this to a deeper why. And you have to keep asking yourself why. Usually recommend 3 to 5, 7 times for some people. Keep asking yourself, why is that important? And why is it important that I do that? Like, why is that so important to me? And keep peeling back the layers until you get to a why that really resonates with you. Third piece, and this is the big piece of what we're talking about here today. This is when you start to work backwards. What we do, I would call goal setting to the now. And this is working backwards in a way of, okay, I have my someday goal. What do I need to do in the next 3 years to make that happen? What do I need to do in the next year? And you keep tracing this back. What do I need to do in the next 6 months? What do I need to do this quarter? What do I need to do this month? What do I need to do this week to make that happen? And then you start breaking it down, and that's where you get into the daily planning, the day-to-day actions, and you start making your schedule in a way that's going to eventually lead you to that goal. If you continue to follow through on those things, you're not going to always get it right, but you'll learn and you'll be moving in the direction you want to head. And that's so important. And this goal setting to the now, this working backwards, is such a big piece of connecting this big, overwhelming, daunting vision, this goal, this dream you have, to the actual X's and O's of what's going to help me get there. Fourth piece, though, get strategic. This is where you really got to do some more tactical stuff. Of, you might need to do a little more research. You might have to do a little more things. If you're trying to, let's say you're trying to run I'll use my example. You're trying to run a sub 20-minute 5K, and that's something that you never done before. You have to seek out some smart help. You have to seek out some people who can help you, some mentors, do some research on it. How does training look? What's the best way to do it? This is where you get strategic, find the best plan, and then focus in your efforts. Last thing, fifth piece of this, One Thing. And if you guys heard me on some of the other podcasts, One Thing by Gary Keller, an amazing book, one that I recommend for everyone. And this is just all about prioritization. So what is the one thing you need to be doing right now? What is the one thing? And this is where the work backwards comes in. What's the one thing you need to do in the next 6 months? What's the one thing you need to do in the next 3 months, the next 1 month, the next week? What do you need to do today? What is the one thing that if you got it done, it would move you one step closer? And this single-minded focus is what really helps take people to the next level. People get so bogged down in details. They make this list of they have their someday goal, and then all of a sudden it's like you have 50 things in front of you and you're like, I don't know where to start. Where am I at? This is where, after you get strategic, narrow in on one thing and keep chipping one thing off, and you'll be surprised the momentum that can carry over time. So guys, implement this. This is something that's huge. This is the same goal setting process I take all of my coaching clients through. This is what we take our clients through in our physical therapy business, what we use personally for business. These are some things that you can apply and use and make a really major difference in taking these dreams or these wishes and find a tactical way to make them a reality, which is taking action. Making it a reality is how you're going to get that life you want. Imagine not just being a thinker or a dreamer, or not being so caught up in the day-to-day. Imagine taking steps towards the goals that are the most important. And this is possible when you guys can get the right plan in place to help do that. If you guys do need more help, I've got a resource for you guys in the show notes. It's called the 5 Steps to Achieving Big Goals. And if you need help getting clear on your goals, your purpose, your why, like how the heck do you figure your why out, and actually taking action on it, follow the link there in the show notes. I have a free download for you guys. And there's a video that goes along with me talking through this process more in depth, some of the things we talked about today. And this is really going to help you dive deep into actually making this a reality. So go check that out and reach out if you guys have questions on that, but it's pretty thorough. The videos talking you through each step. There's a full workbook to work through in terms of getting clear on that. Because once you get clear, that's when you can start to take action. So go check that out. Go set big goals and go achieve them. Now, like I've also mentioned this week, I just really want to hear from you guys. We're coming up on maybe 80 episodes or so into the show, which is amazing, first off. And I'm so thankful for all you guys. There's some people that have been listening consistently from the beginning. I get to see the numbers. I don't get to see who's listening, but I do get to see the numbers. And there's some people that have followed the show all the way through. And I'm so grateful for you guys, and just as grateful for the person who's tuning in for the first time, because the show is growing too. The numbers are rising. There's more traction. There's more people reaching out about it. And I'm stoked about that. I'm stoked to have you guys, but I would love to hear from you because I can't see faces. I can't see names. I don't get any feedback on it. So I have my email and my Instagram handle there in the show notes. Would love to hear from you guys. Shoot me a quick note, shoot me a message on Instagram, shoot me an email, just a quick note to say, hey, I'm listening. This is where I'm listening from. This is what I appreciate. These are the episodes I've liked, I've enjoyed. This is what I want to see more of. I would love to hear that because I'm trying to gear content to you guys, but I need feedback to help make that happen. I can't, I'm doing my best to guess and assume what that is. But if I'm not hearing from you guys, then I don't know where to direct the content or where I can best help you guys. So please reach out. At least let me know you're listening. Would love to, just a quick hello would do a lot for encouraging myself. We talk 80 episodes into this. It is a lot of work, a lot of time, but I love doing it. And I love seeing that you guys are following along on it. So it makes it well worth it. But if you guys can reach out and let me know, that would be awesome. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for listening today. Go set those goals, go make a plan for achieving them, and I'll talk to you guys soon.